guys, welcome to my read my UBC essays that got me into UBC video. I got into sauder early decision, and this is what I wrote for my UBC personal profile. And in case you're applying in September, I just want to tell you, don't stress out. It's gonna be okay. No matter where you go, wherever you end up, wherever you get rejected or accepted into, it won't matter in a few years. It's just part of the process. Like, don't stress out. It's okay. Yeah, like I said, I applied to sauder, and I have 2 extra questions that are part of the sauder application. So if you're also applying to sauder, this might be extra helpful for you. But I'm gonna do the general questions first so everyone can watch, and then sauder questions at the last bit if you want to keep watching. And I'm gonna do extracurriculars in another video as well, my stats. And then if you want to watch my college reactions video, that's already up. I'm gonna put it up there. Enjoy my essays that got me in. Okay, first question. Tell us about who you are, how would your family, friends, and or members of your community describe you? If possible, please include something about yourself that you are most proud of and why. I feel like this one's like pretty hard to write because it's like pretty general and it's hard to stand out. Small steps at a time. My whole life I've been taking steps. My first shaky steps with crayons and tiny fists, my confident steps walking into school with ideas, and my nervous steps onto the snowy roads of Saskatoon. Off the plane, I carried with me my creativity that clashed with the traditional Chinese education system and the label of a failing student. But in Canada, my teachers inspired a new version of me. Within 3 months, my English improved so dramatically that I had a choice: to graduate from English support classes or enroll in late French immersion at a new school. I took another step, a huge one, as my scribbly English essays were far from polished. The new school taught in full French. As I struggled to form sentences, I practiced by hours of reading and self-talk in the mirror. By year's end, I was writing full French essays and had risen to the top of my class. These steps didn't just lead me to academic success, they reshaped my character. The challenges I faced adapting to a new country, language, and education taught me to persevere and embrace the unfamiliar. This resilience became my proudest accomplishment. Today, my family and friends describe me as unafraid of challenges and deeply committed to growth as I continue to take steps forward, each one building on the last. I've learned that even small steps can have remarkable outcomes. My journey is far from over, but I am ready to take on the next obstacle with the same determination that brought me here. That's the first one. I'd say this one, I feel like I've always known what to write about this one because one of my proudest accomplishments is not knowing English fully and still going into late French immersion and then becoming a top French student. So that was like that one thing that I always knew that I wanted to brag about somewhere, and then this was the question that I could do it on, you know what I mean? So if you have something like at the back of your mind, like even if it's not like during high school, you should write it if it gives you sense that you've accomplished something great, because you know that that sentiment can carry you very well into your essay. You know, I'm like a D1 yapper, so you know, I'm gonna make a tips video as well, so if you want to watch that, you should subscribe right now. Okay, so second question. What is important to you and why? Community involvement and creating meaningful connections with others are significant to me, particularly with those who are often overlooked, our seniors. Spending time with my bedridden grandpa heavily influenced my actions. While leading my club, I took the initiative to organize a live concert at our local senior home, Sunnyside Manor. The goal was to bring music, joy, and company to seniors who, like my grandpa, were experiencing a lack of interaction. In addition to the music, I encouraged the volunteers to take the time and talk to the seniors one-on-one, offering them a chance to share stories or simply enjoy the company. To my delight, our volunteers were incredibly eager to engage. Many stayed long after the concert had ended, chatting, laughing, and listening to the residents. It was heartwarming to see how these small conversations brought so much happiness to the seniors, who were visibly uplifted by the presence of young people willing to spend time with them. I was reminded once again that what seniors often desire most is not just help, but human connection and the opportunity to be heard. The positive feedback visibly shown on their faces and the simple joy we were able to deliver by lending some time left me with a profound sense of purpose. The feeling of gratitude that I received from being involved within my community solidifies its importance and motivates me to continue my journey in participating in meaningful activities with our seniors. That one I like that one, if you don't like lead a club or something, if you just have something that really inspired you at one point, you should write about it. It doesn't have to be like grand, like this one just really hit home for me because I did have like first-hand experience in witnessing that. So I just thought it was a great way to tie it together. Like it didn't, like when I was doing the event, I didn't necessarily connect the dots, but once you sit down and reflect a little bit, it's like, wait, they kind of like connect. So just make the connections. Next question, tell us more about one or two activities listed above that are most important to you. Please explain the role you played and what you learned in the process. This one is about the 5 activities that you might have listed and you need to expand on it. So definitely pick the 2 or 1 that you learned the most from. Golf has been the biggest part of my life since I picked it up during the pandemic. The driving range became my sanctuary. Whenever I feel stressed, the world quiets as I focus on the ball in front of me. As an individual player, I learned to be my own coach and teammate as I am responsible for organizing my own practice times. The sport is more than a game, it's a mirror for life. Achievements like winning 3rd in the MJT National Championship are validating, but the daily grind of practice reminds me that progress is constant and life moves forward. Being given the opportunity to participate in such a high-level event, however, gave me a chance to meet the famous Mr. Sean Foley, Tiger Woods' former coach. He delivered a quote that shifted my perspective. Even when there's an overcast, remember it's always blue above. That mindset resonates with me, as golf taught me to embrace resilience and optimism through failures. Whether it's signing my first championship flag or learning from a missed cut, the game continues to challenge and inspire me to grow both on and off the course. So the character limit on this is 2,100, I believe, and then I split it pretty evenly between the 2 activities that I talked about. So that was about like 1,000. My second one, in a world stuck in isolation, I was stuck with art. It came naturally to me as a kid to grab a crayon and start scribbling. I painted before I wrote, recognizing a need for connection and expression. I created elite artists. After posting a Google Classroom code under Pinterest comments, they joined. People with their passion for various art forms joined my tiny classroom. At first, I designed a poster detailing the topic for the first competition, asking artists to portray their home country. The response was electric. Artists from over 10 countries shared pieces bursting with pride and passion. I called for a voting system and created a leaderboard to award the top participants. Being the organizer and leader of this vibrant community, I was able to connect 250 artists in a chaotic world and offer an inclusive space. Leading this global gallery taught me that art isn't just a pastime, it's a language, one I hope to keep speaking in every chapter of my life. So yeah, that one, I was like on my like crazy grind. Like I was on something through the pandemic. Like everyone was just kind of like hating on online school and sleeping during classes, and I was doing Khan Academy for fun. So that experience, like I really wanted to write about because I was really proud of myself. So as long as you feel like that's your strongest connection, it doesn't matter if you did it during high school or not. Okay, and then I'm pretty sure now we're on to the sauder questions. So that was my general answers. Thank you for listening to my essays. If you need help, comment and I'll help as best as I can. I really love English and I love yapping, so I can help you if you feel like I'm good enough for that. And then if you want to watch my stats video, that's coming probably next week, so you should subscribe. Yeah, you should also watch a video about where I'm actually going to, because I'm not going to sauder, which I'm really sad about. But yeah, I do post vlogs about lifestyle and student athlete life, so if you're interested in that, I would love for you to connect with you. Okay, but if you're not interested in like listening to my sauder essays, this is the end for you, so bye. If you are applying to sauder and you're nervous, don't be. I know a lot of people who I didn't think that would get in got in, and I was just kind of like, oh, okay. No shade whatsoever, but I'm just saying, like there's like, I don't know, like the admissions officers are really random. Like it's like you think you would get in but you don't, and then you don't think you get in, you do. It's like, just shoot your shot. Anyways, so I think everyone's sauder questions, like every year it's kind of different, but I don't know if they change it this year, so it might be the same as mine. So my question was, Explain how you responded to a problem and or unfamiliar situation. What did you do? What was the outcome? And what did you learn from the experience? So I wrote, in the summer of 2023, I missed the cut by 2 strokes at Northview Golf and Country Club. After a horrible start on the first day, my strong efforts to come back on the second made little difference. While anxiously waiting for others to finish play, I was notified I had fallen short. I remember it to be particularly devastating as I had qualified the year before. Thoughts about my athletic abilities deteriorating swarmed into my head every night. I started doubting myself for the first time ever, as I had been on a steady trend of improvement. Every decision, swing, and putt I made on the course replayed itself repeatedly. 1 week later, I discovered an opportunity, another tournament at Northview. I felt torn between playing the course again under pressure, and when I saw my competitors, I almost regretted my decision. But this time, I decided to play for myself and the validation that my skills are not defined from one missed cut. The day arrived, and I was placed to play with the girl who had won second place, which I got second last a year ago. The risk was facing the same course that had defeated me before, with the possibility of repeating that outcome. However, this time I played with a renewed mindset, and with past mistakes in mind, I won my first champion title. From this experience, I gained a new outlook not only for golf, but for life in general. I learned the value of perseverance and moving forward for my own personal growth, rather than letting past failures define me. Kind of like a little hero story there. Yeah, but that's like one of my favorite stories. So, do some self-reflecting. Like, the most important thing, don't copy and paste ChatGPT. Like, it's so easy to identify because it doesn't have any originality in it. It doesn't have any thought process behind it. You need to show them that you actually sat here and that you're a person with real thought, real creativity, and who actually cares about the application, because it's really easy to tell. Like, even I can tell, and I'm not like an expert. So the last question is, what do you think is the most serious challenge that our world faces today? What steps should we take as individuals and collectively as a society to address it? I think this question is really dumb, no offense, but this question is so general to the point where this was like the most difficult one for me to write. Because there's so many problems, and I feel like everyone was gonna write about climate change, you know what I mean? Like, everyone was gonna write about one thing. So, in our hands lie in a world full of conflicts between countries that escalate to wars. This issue has become not only the most serious challenge that drives us apart, but worst of all, it is the civilians who suffer most in the crossfire. Families are torn apart, livelihoods destroyed, and countless innocent lives lost. As a society, reducing reliance on military force as a first response to conflicts is crucial. Investing in diplomacy and non-military solutions can help prevent violent escalations that drag millions into hostile situations. Our governments must prioritize funding for peace-building initiatives, education on conflict resolution, and international cooperation to mediate disputes. On an individual level, we can support these efforts by volunteering with humanitarian organizations that support development initiatives in war-affected areas. For example, I took part in our school fundraiser for Ukrainian students by selling peace ribbons, while our profits were donated directly to fund the relocation of refugees. Additionally, engaging in intercultural communication and dialogue within our own communities can create a more welcoming atmosphere, breaking down the stereotypes that fuel discrimination and conflicts on a smaller scale. I take part in my school's Equality and Peace Club, which emphasizes diversity. By working together at both societal and individual levels, we can foster a culture of peace, reduce the likelihood of conflict, and reunite as one. This one is more of like, I need my glasses, but like, that wraps it up. That was a mouthful. Yeah, so I have a lot to say about the whole process, and I want to share my stats, so I'm going to make another video like right after this. And then, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my reading, and just don't stress out, because whatever is gonna work for you, it will work for you. Like, if you don't go to this school, it's not the end of your life. If you don't, if you don't end up getting in, it doesn't define you either. And getting in, by the way, like, maybe boost my ego for like 10 seconds and then it's gone. It's literally done. Also, if you plan on not actually considering going to the school and you just want an ego boost, do not waste your money. Spend it on textbooks. Like, spend it on something else. Don't do it. Like, it's not worth it. But yeah, so that was my sauder application, UVC personal profile. again, I would love to have you on my journey. And here's some other videos you can watch. Love you. Bye.